fun that the surprises come at us, you know, and it's you roll with it and start jumping. It's kind of great.
Yeah, we were just saying before we get a script and we're just like tick 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 tick. I
mean, what? Yeah. Awesome! Oh, that's so great.
Elvis. No, that was good. Yeah.
Actually, it's collaborative. Like, you know, I'll have an idea. I need the wardrobe. I always name them what I'm wearing, so they have these themes in my head. So I start saying, oh, it's the gladiator. I think we need a little, you know, and so I'll suggest something. But then the makeup team, only makeup team, obviously, is great. So they kind of go, oh, okay, what about? And they'll expand it, and, you know, and it becomes some kind of wild thing. So it's pretty fun.
Elvis and Dutch have history together, and there's a lot of love, not necessarily the romantic kind, but there's like a deep affection for each other. And then season 1, Elvis and John kind of found a good rhythm, and then this year I got some good stuff with Gavin, which is because he's so funny and so quirky and sarcastic, and Elvis is a bit more flat. I like it. I like bouncing stuff off it.
Pre's known Dutch for a long time, I think, and then Johnny came in and he sort of adopted him as well, like his younger siblings. And Davin took that minute, I think, when he wasn't sure. He thought he was hot, but is he a friend or foe? So I think it took a second. I was like, okay, they like you, I will like you. So they're all sort of under his wing, I think. He protects them and takes care of them. It's sort of older brother, older sister. Mad on, but I think it's that bartender feel, but also I think, you know, it's wherever Pre has been before this, whatever he's been before this, he's got information, he's smart, he's savvy, you know, and so it's in the case of where does that come from, and it's fun to play with that, for sure.
Elvis, the character seems to carry a lot on his shoulders, like he's burdened with a lot of responsibility. As far as research, I mean, I did grow up in a very, very religious household. A lot of rules, a lot of guilt. So there's a certain heaviness to him, but he also tries to play it off with, I think, a certain sense of humor, like a certain quirkiness. And after like season 1, there's a lot of work trying to find his rhythm. But now that I feel like I've found who he is and what he's fighting for. In season 2, there's a lot more history with the religion, and there's a bit more of a backstory. So I'm starting to understand exactly where he's coming from and exactly the beliefs that he's fighting for. So it comes together pretty good in season 2. When season 1 ended, I'm like, oh, so like season 2 will start this way, and I show up and I have this whole new look, and they're like, no. Well, really, no, you're not even close. And yeah, and also they go a bit into the past of some of the characters. Right? Like I think both of us have a bit of like oh, we understand the characters a bit more because you get to see where they're coming from and what they've experienced.
Right. I felt I was a little, because of Pre being the character he is, I was ready for sort of anything. Like I'm waiting to hear that he's actually, you know, the head of the company, or he actually started as a sexer with talent and got the bar, and, you know. So I kind of thought, gimme, whatever it is, like, gimme it. But I have to say, they threw a couple of things at us in the second season that I went, oh, you're kidding, cool, you know. So it's kind of exciting, and I was really surprised. So I imagine people watching will be shocked in a cool way. But yeah, sure, it's nice to be shocked, although I was ready for a bomb of some kind. Yeah. Well, we had it already. I thought, you know, what's this going to be? Yeah.
Any face-to-face encounters between your characters and Khlyen?
Oh,
I don't know. I can neither confirm nor deny.
I know. It's good question though, but maybe I am the head of the company. We'll see. There remains to be seen. Certainly, there might be something.
Elvis and Davin get to have some fun, and then like there's a good, interesting relationship develops between them, which I really enjoy.
I can certainly say this. You saw at the end, I ended up on the ship, so there's certainly a little more time with the Killjoys, which is fun for Pre. how much I can't say, but certainly we have a little more of playtime. It gets to know Lucy a little bit, we become friendly a little bit, maybe, who knows. We're dating a little bit from the 80s, but 3000 80s, but I might be in a few episodes I didn't know, you never know. And then I was thrilled that it kept expanding, got to know more about him, and more costumes, more makeup, and see what he's made of. Yeah.
From what I understood from season 1, I thought I was only doing 2 episodes, which turned into 5, and then turned into season 2. So this has all been a nice ride because I went in with oh great, sci-fi, which I was super excited for because I love sci-fi, and then it just kind of blossomed into a series regular. It's great.
I will say, when at the end of season 1, when I read bar is blown up, and we're done. Oh, okay. My job here is finished. So, it's nice to be back. That's all. I certainly get to see a little more. I get to come out of the bar for a moment because of the nature of what's happened. So that's kind of fun. You get to see me from the bottom down, which is nice.
Oh, that kind of.
A little bit. I won't tell you how much action we get to see, and if there is in fact another moon around Fresh. But anyway. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I get some. It's a fast-paced show, so there's some fast pacing for sure. Yeah, I get some cool stuff.
Funny, it's a really musical group. I mean, have you ever heard Luke sing? Killer. Like everyone kind of chortles away. It's pretty fun.
Accents and songs.
Monty
Python.
It's a lot. It's a kooky, fun energy. Bring it. I've got a feeling. Michelle's pretty damn clever. That's for sure. So she comes up with some great stuff in the season that will be like, oh, cool. So it's fun.
And she's got a quirky sense of humor.
It is. It's great.
So I wouldn't be surprised if she actually did it. Yeah.
And what's great is she's smart about how she does it. Like she finds ways, and this is not a plug for the writer. Like I'm actually shocked how she works things in. And I go, you clever minx. Like really great little bits that she manages to be pretty smart about. So she may, if anyone can, for sure.
Digging into your characters a little bit, what do you kind of really admire about the character itself?
Elvis's conviction. I think he has a strong belief system, and he's gonna really fight for what he believes is right. I mean, it's nice to have that kind of passion. Like he's really gonna go 100%, even if it means, he'll risk his life to do it. I think that's an admirable quality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. Pre's clothes and makeup, yes, fun, of course. But what I love is that it's his sense of suck it. Like if you don't like me or what I do or how I talk or how I run my bar, get the fuck out. And that's kind of great. He's living a life that a lot of us could kind of learn from. That this is what I am, and if you don't have to come in here, you don't have to drink my stuff. If you want to come in here, it's my world. I think that's awesome. It's pretty sweet. Into the backstory of stuff, learning why Pre does some of what he does and some of the ins and outs. I love that it gets more complicated in a way that I can take and incorporate. But it's also living. Like I find each episode, there's a real sense of moving through different colors, and that's really interesting to play. And especially because I think of Pre as being a little bipolar. I mean emotionally, but each episode always has this interesting different color in him. Whether he's a matron, he's a caregiver, he's a friend, he's an ass kicker. He really kind of takes on these roles in each situation with different people. A bit of a chameleon that way, and that's great. That's part of what I love about Pre the most.
Yeah, Elvis, I think I could say has a rather large crisis of faith based on what transpired at the end of season 1. So I mean that's just taking on the burden of Westfield being bombed. It's kind of like, okay, how do you wrap your head around that? So that was just something you sit with. Like I mean I don't know if this worked to prepare for it, but I certainly thought about it a lot as the days progressed before I shot it, and kind of just dwelled on that and what that would do to someone.